Okay, now we're going to talk about bladder health. Most people think that when they have a leaking issue or a bladder issue, they have a weak pelvic floor. So what we find, it's actually opposite. We have something called a short pelvic floor or a tight pelvic floor. So think about your muscles. They are parallel, the little fibers are parallel. You have to lengthen the muscle before you can strengthen it, okay? So lengthen before you strengthen. So if we put that into action, it means you have to learn how to breathe from your diaphragm and take that big diaphragm breath. And I prefer doing it lying down on your back, trying to breathe into the belly, because the diaphragm and the pelvic floor coordinate together. So they both go down when you breathe in and they move up when you blow out, which means you need to blow out every time you get yourself out of a chair, or every time you get yourself out of a squat position, or anytime you lift something, be it weights or groceries, whatever it is, your children. And so that's one way to lengthen the pelvic floor. Another way to lengthen the pelvic floor is to press on the trigger points that we have here. So if you lie on your back, you can feel that there's tension. A lot of people will say, oh, that feels like a bone, but this is actually muscular. So if you put pressure on either side, that's the vagina for reference. So it's like on either side. I call that 3 o'clock and 9 o'clock because this is 12 and this is 6 o'clock. So think about a clock. So if you press along this muscle, you'll probably find tension there. And if you have tension there, you might not be able to completely void or empty your bladder, because your pelvic floor muscles have to relax in order for your bladder to contract. Same thing with bowel. So you got to release the muscle, and then that tells the bladder to contract. And then squatting is another way to relax the muscle, is to get into a squat position and just breathe into it for about 30 seconds and then blow out when you come out of that position.